Hey, Southern Nevada, let's talk about your tap water. Despite its hard, mineral-rich taste, your water meets or surpasses all federal Safe Drinking Water Act standards, so don't confuse hard water with its quality. Sourced from the Rocky Mountains, your water is analyzed more than 300,000 times a year. It's treated and monitored 24/7 by a team of technical experts. So get all the facts about your tap water at snwa.com. SNWA is a not-for-profit water agency. Just when we thought it was all over, the Badlands development is back in the headlines. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm here with Review Journal reporter Ricardo Torres-Cortez. He's been following the Badlands case for years. And we talk about why Clark County and the city of Las Vegas are trying to take a battle over Badlands taxes all the way up to the Nevada Supreme Court. It's Monday, March 9th. I'm Sonia Cho Swanson, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. So, Ricardo, why is the Badlands case back in the headlines?
So the entire legal arguments about who would own Badlands is over, but now Clark County was stuck with a tax bill, or rather they collected more than $2 million in taxes for 8 years.
Whoa. For
several years while the lawsuit was ongoing. And now the developer wants that money back.
Okay, so the developer paid taxes, and the developer is like, actually, this whole time, I didn't need to be paying those taxes. I want that money back.
Yeah, their argument was that the city of Las Vegas had taken the land, meaning that they didn't have to pay taxes during those years of litigation.
And yet somehow they were still on the hook for taxes during that time?
Yes, technically they still own the land while the matter was being resolved in court.
Gotcha. So the developer, Johan Lowy, was on the deed or whatever it is, the documents, and Clark County had received over $8 million in tax.
About $1 million a year.
Oof. Okay. Gotcha. And now Johan Lowy wants that money back. But now it seems like for some reason the battle is now between the county and the city. So can you explain why they're facing off?
Yes. The developers sued the county for that tax money, or the district court added the city to the lawsuit as plaintiffs because of possible monetary repercussions they would face. So now the city of Las Vegas is plaintiff to that lawsuit.
But the city never got the tax money. Only the county got the tax money.
Yes, the Clark County collects the tax money.
Okay. But here's my other confusion, because technically the Badlands development, which is over near Queensridge, is in the city of Las Vegas. So why was the county collecting the money if the original dispute was with the city?
Clark County collects property taxes around the county.
Gotcha. All right. So this city dispute that lasted for years in the city of Las Vegas. Meanwhile, the county is collecting taxes from the developer. Now, after everything is wrapped up, after hundreds of millions of dollars have been awarded to the city, the developer says, oh, by the way, one more thing I want back, $8 million in taxes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the Nevada Supreme Court hasn't agreed to hear the case yet. But why does the county think that they can get the city to foot the bill?
Clark County is arguing that in one of the 4 lawsuits, there was a Supreme Court decision that put the city of Las Vegas on the hook for interest, taxes, and the value of the land. So they're arguing that previously in court, the city was forced or ordered to pay those taxes.
Because basically the fact that they have to pay back taxes now is the city's fault because the original dispute was with the city.
Yes, that's the county's argument.
Gotcha. And the city's coming back and saying, but no, county, you actually got the tax money, so you need to pay it back.
Yeah, the city said that they're confident that the district court judge who sort of dismissed the county's dispute to drop the lawsuit, they're comfortable with that decision. They're confident that if the Supreme Court takes up the case, they will side with the city and the developer.
Okay. Let's back way up, because we're talking about a case that's been dragging on for years, and not all of our listeners will know what we mean when we talk about the Badlands. First of all, can you tell our listeners what is the Badlands itself? And then why did it turn into a giant battle?
It was a 250-acre golf course near Queensridge, near Summerlin.
Okay.
That developer Johan Lowy purchased in 2016.
Okay, pretty bougie area of town.
Yes. Mayor Shelley Berkeley actually lives in Queensridge.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Uh-huh.
So the developer had proposed a plan to build a housing development to let the golf course sunset. That turned into a dispute at City Hall where Queensridge residents didn't want property next to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't confident or comfortable with the project. There were allegations of residents influencing council members at the time, which, by the way, none of them are in the council anymore. It goes way back.
Okay.
And ultimately, the city didn't allow Mr. Lowy to build the project as he intended, which led to a series of lawsuits. It was 4 total lawsuits.
And ultimately, the developer, Johan Lowy, won in court. I mean, the court decided that the city was wrong to prevent him from building on the land.
Yes, it was 4 lawsuits broken up by parcels of the 250 acres. Out of the 4 cases, lawsuits were going Mr. Lowy's way. So he got a judgment, for example, $64 million for one of the parcels at one point. Losses kept mounting up. The city at one point before deciding to settle said the costs, if appeals didn't go their way, could go up to more than $600 million.
Wow. Okay. So in the end, they were like, you know what? Let's not keep fighting this losing battle.
Yes, they cut their losses short. Ultimately, they settled for $286 million for the remaining
lawsuits. Just
lawsuits.
$286 million. No biggie. Okay.
At one point, when the city was considering appealing one of the cases to the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, Mr. Lowy at a city council meeting threatened them with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit, like a new lawsuit, alleging that the city had essentially destroyed his company.
Wow.
So he was imploring for a settlement.
Okay. And on what grounds did he win? Did Johan Lowy win the case? I mean, what did the city do wrong, I guess?
Essentially, if you don't allow a person to build a place that's viable when the city wasn't permitting the project, it's called inverse condemnation, where the city essentially...
condemnation. I love that. That's like a band name. Okay.
Yes, where the city ends up taking your land because you can't build on it. So that's why it's considered a taking.
So even though you technically still own the land, they're basically forbidding you from doing anything with it. So you're basically stuck with this unusable property.
That's correct.
So in the meantime, now in 2026, 2025, 2026, how is the city paying that $286 million in settlement money that it owes to the developer?
There's a possibility that they finished paying it already, but it was a package of multiple proposals. They offered buyouts, just 21 employees took. They froze positions that hadn't been filled. They delayed 17 capital improvement projects.
What kind of projects?
One of the projects was improvements to city jail. Another one had to do with cemetery they were building, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Modifications to Huntridge Circle Park. $900,000 was for a beautification project for city alleys. $820,000 was for a planned park that would be at the Las Vegas Medical District.
So these are some of the real impacts we're seeing as fallout from this case. The projects basically that have not come to fruition, or the people who haven't been hired. Like these are real impacts on the people of Las Vegas.
Yes. On top of that, when the settlement was occurring, tax revenues have began going down here in the past year and a half.
Oh, okay.
So all the municipalities are sort of struggling, plugging holes in their budget.
Gotcha. So it's this 1-2 punch. And actually on top of that, all these years of legal fees too, right? Like how much money has the city spent on lawyers fighting this case?
It was millions of dollars. Not as much as the $286 million they ended up paying, but it was in the millions.
Hi, I'm David Plotz. I'm the CEO of CityCast, a podcast network that includes this show you're listening to, and also 12 other CityCasts in 12 other cities. And each one knows their city as well as your local team knows yours. So isn't it time we connected them? Don't you want to know how they're tackling their bike lane problems and housing challenges and sidewalk dog poop crises? That's why I'm hosting a new podcast called Your City Could Be Better. Because it could be. Every week, I'll chat with a different host in our CityCast network about what their cities are doing right and wrong. the weird things they're trying, and the surprising successes, so that we can all learn how to make our cities a little bit better. Listen to Your City Could Be Better on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
So I want to ask a question about the case, because one thing that has puzzled me about it is, how did a highly motivated group of wealthy homeowners get so much leverage to be able to drag the fight on for so long? All these wealthy homeowners in Queensridge who didn't want the development.
It's hard to tell what sort of influence they had with the former council members. I mean, I'm assuming the lawsuit alleged that it was through influence from the homeowners that
improperly, I guess, is the allegation, right?
Yes. But it's hard to tell. And looking into the present, the entire council at the time has moved on. Top city executives have moved on. So it's a new team. So it's hard to tell how that would affect something in the future.
Do you think that this is going to, because I mean, at this point, the city has really bled for their errors, right? I mean, is this going to make the city and maybe even the county more pro-developer and maybe less likely to listen to constituents on land issues in the future?
At one point, the city had argued that settling the lawsuit and admitting the loss would set a precedent of developers who perhaps didn't have a project that was compatible with the city could just take it to court to force a prolonged legal battle and eventual approval. So
sure,
that was a worry they expressed at one point. But depending on the project, it's unclear and how much patience a developer might have to take something to court.
Right. If they actually want to go through the years-long process themselves.
Yes. Mr. Lowy, at one point, he was imploring the city to reach a settlement. And like he said, he threatened a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. And he said he was willing to take it all the way to the United States Supreme Court.
Okay. Wow. Well, that shows some determination, I think. Some grit there, some resolve. So, Ricardo, what do you think the long-term implications of the Badlands drama is for the county and the city?
Commissioner Kirkpatrick also mentioned another precedent of having to claw back taxes that were already collected and distributed. In voting to file an appeal with the Supreme Court, she cited that precedent of what happens next time.
Yeah.
I mean, the taxes were collected over the years and they were distributed. Now if they have to pay it, they have to claw it back or find a way to pay up that money. Okay,
so that's sort of a concern now, is in this current case when it comes to actually tax money that's actually been used on parks and roads and salaries for public officials.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see how the relationship of Las Vegas and Clark County proceeds. Like they fund things together. For example, the Metropolitan Police Department. So it's it's interesting to see them battle it out.
Yeah, and that's not the first time that the city and the county have been at odds over maybe shared responsibility or shared jurisdictions, right? I mean,
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, the city, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and the county are funding operations at the upcoming Campus for Hope, the resource center and living complex for homeless individuals.
Yeah.
For example, I don't believe Henderson is funding any of that. Likewise, the North Las Vegas, and Clark County fund the animal shelter.
The long and battled animal shelter.
Yes, Animal Foundation.
That's another episode, Ricardo, that we should definitely look into.
Okay, yeah, that's a doozy.
Right. Oh my gosh, long tangled history there. Speaking of long tangled histories. So I guess my question is then, for this case, is this the end of the Badlands conflict? Like, if this case is not taken up by the Supreme Court, are we done? Can we forget about the Badlands forever and ever, or is there more to come?
It should be. I believe Queensridge residents, when the project, Lennar's project was approved, so Lennar Homes bought the 250 acres and they're building their own housing development. Queensridge residents spoke out against that and they threatened a lawsuit too. So you never know.
Oh, you mean the homes that they're actually finally building on the golf course behind Queensridge on Yohan Lowy's land is now actually being disputed again?
Yes, but I don't know if that's proceeded. But there's a contentious planning commission meeting, I believe last year. Now it's all a blur now.
Oh my goodness. So you're telling me that the Badlands saga could basically repeat itself?
I mean, I don't see it and I can't speculate. And it seemed like a unique situation. But ultimately, the city ended up approving Lennard's project. So I think it'd be a different type of dispute.
So I'm just curious, like if the city has now approved the housing development, then what mechanism are the Queensridge residents going to try to use to stop that housing going in?
It's not even clear. It's just they were just arguing all sorts of like there's going to be traffic. So it's just different type of allegations. So it wasn't a developer suing for the right to build. It was the owners who didn't want the city to approve the project.
Right. Age-old story in the city. Anytime any new development goes up, there's always those NIMBY neighbors.
Yeah. And I mean, the settlement was sort of a three-way deal. It was Lowy, it was Lennard, and it was the city. So they were on board. I guess this is different because now there's no dispute between the powers to be.
Yeah. Is the new development also called Badlands, or is there a new name for this project?
They haven't announced name. So it's a Lennard Homes project, 1,400 upscale homes.
Okay.
And the city and planning commission have approved that project now.
Okay.
So that's ongoing. They should be doing construction there.
Okay.
And funny coincidence, Lennard Homes ended up buying Cashman property that helped pay for the Badlands settlement.
So they're kind of paying themselves a little bit, a little circular financing there.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I think they should call it the new development Goodlands and just rebrand the whole project and give it a little better fate, maybe.
Contact Lennard.
Okay, awesome. I'll try. Well, Ricardo, thank you so much for helping us break this down, all the twists and turns. Let's hope you don't have to come back and talk about this case ever again. But if it does come up in the news, we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. If it anytime it comes up anywhere in court filings, we'll be there.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, go tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. And don't forget, you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.